Raila Odinga, a member of the Luo ethnic group, was born at the Anglican Church Missionary Society Hospital in Maseno, Kisumu District, Nyanza Province on 7th January 1945 to his late parents Mary Juma Odinga and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, who served as the first Vice President of Kenya under Jomo Kenyatta. He went to Kisumu Union Primary, Maranda Primary in Bondo, and Maranda High School for his secondary education, where he studied until 1962 when he was transferred by his father to Germany. He was baptized as an Anglican Christian church in the Church Missionary Society, CMS, in his childhood. Odinga later became a born-again Christian. He later got married to his wife, Ida Odinga, where they lived in Karen, Nairobi, and they had a second home in Central Farm in Siaya County. The couple were blessed with 4 children, namely Fidel, who was born in 1973, Rosemary, born in 1977, Raila Jr., born in 1979, and Winnie, who was born in 1990. Fidel was named after Fidel Castro, and Winnie was named after Winnie Mandela. After he went to study in abroad, Odinga returned to Kenya in 1970, and in 1971, he founded the Standard Processing Equipment Construction and Erection Limited, later renamed East Africa Spectre, the only company manufacturing liquid petroleum gas cylinder in Kenya. In 1974, he was appointed Group Standard Manager of the Kenya Bureau of Standards after holding this position for 4 years, and he was promoted to the Deputy Director in 1978, a post he held until his 1982 detention. Raila Amolo Odinga was a Kenyan politician who served as a Prime Minister from 2008 to 2013. He was the Member of Parliament MP for the Lang'ata constituency from 1992 to 2013. He was also the leader of Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Coalition Party.
Mimi naenda salimu watu wangu. Salimu Kenya, mimi nakufa, lakini mimi nakufa kwa niaba ya Wakenya. Kwa hivyo kuna wengine ambaye wamekufa katika hii. Mimi nimeona watu wengi, marafiki wetu ambao wamekufa kwa hii struggle. Nimekaa na watu mpeleka mahakama pale, wakitoka mahakama wamechapatiwa hukumu ya kifo, wanakuja wanapiga mimi kwa heri, lakini mimi naenda salimu watu wangu. Salimu Kenya, mimi nakufa, lakini mimi nakufa kwa niaba ya Wakenya. Kwa hivyo asanteni. Poleni sana. Nakuwa na uchungu.
Odinga ran for president of Kenya 5 times, with none of his attempts being successful. Each time Odinga alleged electoral fraud. In 1997, he finished 3rd as the candidate of the National Development Party, NDP, in 2007. He ran again for the presidency under the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, and lost to Mwai Kibaki. In 2013, 2017, and 2022, Odinga was the runner-up as a candidate for the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy called National Super Alliance, NASA, and Azimio la Umoja, respectively. After his loss, he filed for petition against President-elect William Ruto, and the Supreme Court of Kenya, the court decided against him, and Odinga pleaded to respect its ruling. In Feb 2024, he announced his candidacy for the Africa Union Commission chairperson, but was defeated by Muhammad Ali Yusuf in February 2025 ballot. Odinga played Association football for Luo Union, now Gor Mahia, as a midfielder, and he was a supporter of English Premier League club Arsenal. Odinga was appointed by the African Union to mediate the 2010 to 2011 Ivorian crisis. He also wrote Flame of Freedom, a 1,040-page autobiography which talks about his life from childhood, and it was launched on 6 October 2013 in Kenya and subsequently in United States on 15th October 2013. Raila accrued several nicknames during his political career, and these include Tinga, Hama, Baba, Jokom, and Agwambo. Raila Amolo Odinga was arrested and charged with treason after being accused of being among the mastermind of the 1982 coup who attempted to overthrow the government of President Daniel Arap Moi, and the attempt failed, and he was released 6 years later in February 1988, but was detained again that August, and he was finally released in June 1989. In an era of unrelenting human rights abuse by the Kenya government, Odinga was placed under house arrest for 7 months after evidence seemed to implicate him along with his late father Oginga Odinga for collaborating with the plotters of the failed coup attempt against President Daniel Arap Moi in 1982. Hundreds of Kenyan civilians and thousands of rebellion soldiers died in the coup. Several foreigners also died. Odinga was later charged with treason and detained without trial for 6 years.
Poleni sana. Nakuwa na uchungu ukikumbuka mtu tulikuwa pamoja anakuambia kwamba mimi sitakuona tena. Anatoka pale anapeleka kule na nyongwa. Kwa hivyo saa nyingine mkana sisi tunakuwa na hasira ni sababu kuna sababu. Wengine waandishi wa habari hawaelewi. Manake wao hawajaona mambo kama yale. Lakini hii harakati ya ukombozi imetoka mbali.
After being released, he was again arrested together with Kenneth Matiba and former Nairobi Mayor Charles Rubia, both multi-party system and human rights crusaders. Odinga was finally released on 21st June 1991, and in October he fled the country to Norway amid indication that the increasingly corrupt Kenyan government was attempting to assassinate him without success. In February 1992, after traveling to Norway, Odinga returned to Kenya and he joined Ford, then led by his father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. He was elected vice chairman of the General Purposes Committee of the party, and in the months running up to the 1992 general election, Ford split into Ford Kenya, led by Oginga's father, Jaramogi Oginga, and Ford Asili, led by Kenneth Matiba. And Odinga became Ford Kenya's deputy director of elections. Odinga won the Lang'ata constituency parliamentary seat previously held by Philip Likey of Kanu. Odinga became the second father of multi-party democracy in Kenya after Kenneth Matiba. When Jaramogi Oginga died in January 1994 and Michael Wamalwa Kijana succeeded him as Ford Kenya chairman, Odinga challenged him for the party leadership, and the election were marred by controversy, after which Odinga resigned from Ford Kenya to join the National Development Party. Odinga tried 5 times for president of Kenya, and in his first bid for the presidency in 1997 general election, Odinga finished 3rd after President Moi and the incumbent and Democratic Party candidate Mwai Kibaki. He, however, returned his position as the Lang'ata MP. Immediately after the 1997 election, Raila appeared alongside Kibaki to announce the results, saying that they were rigged. In the subsequent months, however, he forged a deal to support Moi, entering into cooperation deal between his party, NDP, and Moi's KANU party. He accepted a position in Moi's cabinet as energy minister, serving from June 2001 to 2002 during Moi's final term. In 2002, the NDP and KANU formally merged, with the NDP being dissolved and the new party being dubbed the New KANU. In the subsequent KANU election held later that year, he was elected the party's Secretary General, replacing Joseph Kamotho. In 2002, Moi endorsed Uhuru Kenyatta, son of Kenya's first president Jomo Kenyatta, who was a newcomer in the politics. Odinga and other KANU members, including Kalonzo Musyoka, George Saitoti and Joseph Kamotho, opposed this step, urging that the then Uhuru Kenyatta, 38-year-old, was politically inexperienced and lacked the leadership qualities needed to govern. Moi stood his ground, maintaining that the country's leadership needed to pass to the younger generation as well as someone that Moi could rely on personally. After Uhuru joins the politics, Raila Odinga lost to him 2 times, 2013 and 2017, and having lost the 2017 election to Uhuru Kenyatta and boycotted the rerun, Odinga had himself sworn in as the people's president. Miguna, who administered the oath and was deported while Odinga faced no consequences. He went on to have a handshake and take part in government decision-making. In March 2018, Raila and Uhuru had a political handshake intended to cool the political temperatures after the 2017 general elections, and the handshake resulted in William Ruto being sidelined in the government, and he formed with Uhuru Kenyatta. With Raila Odinga being elevated to de facto Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the handshake gave birth to the Building Bridges Initiative, alias BBI. On December 10, 2021, Odinga announced that he was eyeing a 5th stab at the presidency, putting an end to months of suspense after his surprise truce with President Kenyatta. His announcement was made while launching the Azimio la Umoja convention, which would be his vehicle to State House, held at the Kasarani Stadium, Nairobi. Kenya nominated Odinga as its candidate for the chairperson of African Union Commission. In Feb 2024, Odinga sought to harness Africa's natural and human resource to ensure prosperity. His priorities include advancing the African continental free trade area, managing conflicts, and enhancing Africa's global influence. On 15th of February 2025, Odinga finished as the runner-up, having been defeated by Mohamed Ali Yusuf in the election for chairperson of the African Union. Succeeding Chad Moussa Faki, the election was held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and was decided by the member states of the African Union after 7 rounds of voting. Odinga was cleared to run for presidency for the 5th time on 5th June 2022 by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC. He filed his candidacy papers as a candidate for the Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya coalition party with the IEBC. Martha Karua was Odinga's running mate. On 6th of June, Odinga launched his 10-point manifesto at the Nyayo Stadium, that flanked by his running mate and hundreds of his supporters. He vied for the presidency against United Democratic Alliance candidate William Ruto, who garnered 50.5% of votes cast. After coming second in the presidential election, he filed a legal case challenging the results, which was dismissed by the Supreme Court.